Hi, I'm Jake. I make RPG supplements and videos about Pathfinder 2 or PF2. I love PF2, and I love when they get creative. This is fun. This is Loot. He loves PF2 too. Okay, well, he at least loves you and treats. Razmiran Priest. Before I read this, I want to read a little bit of background on Razmir. Razmir claimed... Oh, if you want to skip right to the mechanics, go here. I don't know why you would, but go for it. The religion of Razmir. Razmir claims to be a god of law, luxury, obedience, and the land of Razmiran itself. He's a mortal ruler. He teaches that acquiring money and power grants mortals the lives they want, and are thus the only true pursuits of mortal life. Yeah, real holy guy here. He teaches these precepts through parables and simple rules that obscure its motives. Such rules include denying gold from those who oppose Razmir, go figure, that those who deny his godhood are liars, that only those who follow him will gain wealth and glory, and that every true believer is charged with defending Razmiran and Razmir's temples. Razmir preaches anonymity and solidarity among his faithful and demands that all of his followers wear their identical masks in all interactions with non-believers. Clerics of Razmir. See also false divine magic. Razmiran priests use arcane magic to mimic the abilities of true clerics, relying on obscure spells, secret, holy magic items, and folk remedies to fill in the gaps left by lack of true divine magical healing. Domains. Although Razmir is not a god and does not provide a domain of divine magic to his followers, his priests are still able to exhibit the powers of divine domain through deceptive means. He's a cult leader. Razmiran Priest. You are a Razmiran Priest, initiated in the 31 Steps, the doctrines of Razmir's religion. You were trained at the Exalted Lodge, or another of the temples where the priests specialize in crafting masks that also serve as Razmir's religious symbol, and you are charged with spreading and enforcing Razmir's faith. Razmiran priests are zealous worshippers of their god, and use the... It really should say God in quotes. And use the magical techniques that they are taught to spread his word and his will. You have placed service in the living God... You have placed service to the living God above all other duties and entrusted your wealth, prosperity, and ambitions to his teachings while availing yourself of the knowledge and wisdom that only his most blessed servants are ever bestowed with, accepting the power and authority that is the right of the living God's priests. I want to point out that it says, you have placed service to the living God above all other duties. That means family and friends, too. You're a fucking slave to this cult leader. Perhaps this is a pure zealousness, or perhaps you are motivated by Razmir's promises of wealth and authority. Either way, you have donned the mask and wield the power reserved for those who follow in Razmir's footsteps. You are more in the way than your brother, Gast, because for some reason I know how to work around Loot, and I don't know how to work around you. Puffball. All right. So good beginning here. This is a false priest archetype. I kind of like it. I love that it exists. That's what I love about it. Razmiran Priest Dedication. Level 2 archetype feat, because it's a dedication. It's uncommon. Prerequisites: trained in crafting, trained in deception, because you have to make your mask. You have earned entry to the priesthood of Razmir, either at the Exalted Lodge or another temple where Razmir's holy masks are forged. You gain a Razmiri mask, see below, and can craft a replacement in 4 hours if yours is ever damaged or lost. There is no value in selling your Razmiri mask, and only you gain its benefits. The abilities of your Razmiri mask use the higher of your class DC or spell DC. Let's look at that before we go on. Razmiri mask. Level 2 magical item, usage worn mask. Bulk, nah. There's nothing in there. This mask is made of iron, though more potent versions crafted by powerful Razmiran priests can be made by... Can you not be interested? It's in my way. Dude, look over here. Razmiri mask. This mask is made of iron, though more potent versions crafted by powerful Razmiran priests can be made of silver, gold, or even porcelain. The wearer of this mask gains a +1 item bonus to deception checks to lie or feint. Ooh, neat. Yeah, but I never liked that about a mask giving you a bonus to deception, because if you are wearing a mask and lying to someone, you already seem like you're lying. because you're covering your features. Whatever. Activate. Call upon Razmir's benevolence. 2 actions. Concentrate, manipulate, occult. Frequency, once per minute. Effect, you bend divine power to your will using the techniques taught to you by the Razmiri priesthood. You grant a single target you touch a number of temporary hit points equal to twice your level that lasts for 24 hours. If the target was unconscious, it regains consciousness and doesn't lose consciousness again due to hit point loss, as long as it has temporary hit points from this effect remaining. You pretend heal people. All right, let's read the rest of the dedication. You can take the Cleric dedication feat without needing to meet its prerequisites and before you take 2 other feats from the Razmiran priest archetype, but you must choose Razmir as your deity. That means your wisdom can be shit. Because these guys don't give a fuck about wisdom. In fact, if you're part of a cult, the lower the wisdom, the better, probably. All spells granted by the Cleric archetype when gained in this way are occult spells instead of divine spells, and Cleric feats that normally have the divine trait instead have the occult trait. Your key spellcasting attribute for these spells is charisma rather than wisdom. Perfect Truths. 6 level feat. Your knowledge of Razmir's faith and doctrines has grown. You excel in debating priests of rival faiths, wielding truths as subtly and deftly as any charlatan might wield a lie. When you use deception to lie, you can carefully structure your deceits so that each individual statement you make is the truth from a certain perspective. As long as you are wearing your Razmiri mask, you don't take a penalty to deception checks while subject to the Ring of Truth spell or similar effects. Oh, shit. You can attempt a deception check when you first begin speaking to counteract the spell's effects with a counteract rank equal to half your level rounded up. But you have to be wearing your Razmiri mask. Succeeding at this check doesn't end the spell or effect, but it does cause it to indicate that you are speaking the truth even when you are actually lying, as you weave a web of words so delicate that even you can't be certain where the truth ends and deception begins. The most convincing lies have a kernel of truth. So, sure. 10th level feat. Mask of the 12th step. Prerequisites. Expert in crafting. You have reached the 12th step and been instructed in greater secrets of Razmir's doctrine, or you think you have. You can craft your Razmiri mask out of silver, or upgrade your existing mask to a silver one in the same time it takes to craft one made of iron. A silver Razmiri mask grants a +2 item bonus to deception checks to lie or feint as a 10th level item, and gains the following activation in addition to that possessed by the standard mask. Activate Call Upon Razmir's Mercy. 2 actions. Concentrate, manipulate, occult. Frequency 3 times per day. Effect. Exhorting Razmir to purge impurities from your target. You lay hands on a creature within reach and cast Cleanse Affliction. As an occult spell, with a spell rank equal to half your level. Unlike a normal Cleanse Affliction spell, this doesn't reduce the stage of the affliction. Because it's false. Instead, if the counteract check is successful, the affliction stage is temporarily reduced by 1 and its effects are suppressed for 24 hours, after which the affliction resumes in full force. If the target would have been required to attempt additional saves against the affliction during the 24 hours it was suppressed, they must attempt all of those saving throws as soon as the 24-hour duration ends. This could mean that the target saves successfully, and it is as if the affliction were truly healed. You know, way back when. Or it could mean that the affliction returns and advances multiple stages all at once. Make sure you're around when that happens so you can say they're a disbeliever in Razmir and they're being cursed for their lack of faith. Because that's what a good cultist would do. Mask of the 15th step, 14th feat. 14th level feat. Master in crafting is a requirement here. Besides the dedication. You have ascended to the 15th step and stand among the greatest of Razmir's priests. You can craft your Razmiri mask out of gold or upgrade your existing mask to a gold one in the same time it takes to craft one made of iron. A gold Razmiri mask grants a +3 item bonus to deception checks to lie or feint. Is a 14th level item and gains the following activation in addition to those possessed by the standard silver masks. I think you should start out with an iron one and just paint it gold, because then you're lying in a cult about lying. I doubt you'll be called out for it. Oh yes, I'm actually of the 15th step. Yes. Activate Call Upon Razmir's Wrath. 2 actions. Concentrate, manipulate, occult. Frequency once per day. Effect. You cry out to Razmir to reveal his fiery wrath, as he did upon the unbelievers at Melkat. You cast Sunburst as an 8th rank occult spell, but for undead targets, the spell has the incapacitation trait. Meaning it isn't that great against undead. Because it's not holy power. It's occultic power. This is such a weird... I'm glad this exists. This is a faction that would be really fun to have in a game. Like, you have to ferret out everything about Razmir's faith. Anyway, last feat. Level 20. Living God. Prerequisite legendary in crafting. You have reached heights of power. I can see a lot of alchemists choosing this. Because crafting. You have reached heights of power equaling Razmir himself. You can craft your Razmiri mask out of porcelain laced with precious metals, or upgrade your existing mask to a porcelain one in the same time it takes to craft one made of iron. A porcelain Razmiri mask grants a +4 item bonus to deception checks to lie or feint, is an 18th level item, and is an apex item that increases your charisma modifier by 1 or increases it to +4, whichever would give you a higher score. It also gives you the following activation in addition to those granted by the standard silver and gold masks. These masks are cool. Activate Power of the Living God. 3 actions. Concentrate, Manipulate, Occult. Frequency once per day. Effect, you demand power from the world, using your mask as a locus to force reality to bend to your will. You cast Manifestation as a 10th rank occult spell, but no matter what spell you emulate with it, that spell has the incapacitation trait. Just another example of how it's not real. Man. This is like for the ultimate falsehood character. I could easily see playing a rogue and doing this. Because it doesn't require any spellcasting to take this. You just get these mask abilities and you can become the Cleric dedication as well. Like, you can take this and then just take a domain... Yeah, take the archetype feat to get a Cleric feat to get a domain spell. This could be a way into getting... Yeah, I like this. So now you have a way to take the Cleric dedication, or Cleric archetype, multi-class archetype, without having wisdom at all. This is a cool option. Even if you're not all about lying or all about being an occult. The temporary hit point ability for the base level, low level mask is still quite useful. And you give people temporary hit points equal to twice your level. So obviously that improves with you. And it's once per minute. That's always going to be useful. Even if you just use this to bypass the required wisdom for Cleric, or to just not have a deity as a Cleric. Because some people just want that. And their GM isn't okay with them just saying, I don't have a deity. It is functionally useful, but mostly it's just so much fun to roleplay. I'm going to read the inset panels. Sidebar. Perilous Proverbs. Truth is not found in the eye of the one who sees it, in the ear of the one who hears it, or in the mouth of one who speaks it. It is found in the hand that wields and discards it. Let those who think they know truth beware. The only thing deadlier than a liar's blade is truth spoken to ears that cannot hear its limitations. From the teachings of Narsen, Mask of the 12th Step, and Venture Captain of the Exalted Lodge. Man, these guys are so far up their own asses. Divine Alliances. While most gods of Golarion despise Razmir and reject his claims to divinity, the goddess Sivana and her priestesses are said to hold Razmir and his priests in surprisingly warm regard. Perhaps the Seventh Veil, goddess of illusions, respects the trickery and audacity of the man who declared himself the living god. Perhaps she sees a truth in this claim that even Razmir does not. After all, beings with even less power than Razmir are revered as gods in places like Sarkoris and other locations across the Inner Sea and beyond. Perhaps somewhere inside the desperately ambitious mortal man behind the mask, Sivana sees a truth that the gods themselves refuse to acknowledge. That neither immortality nor the ability to grant divine spells are what make a creature a god. Rather, it is the will to believe and to spread that belief to others. Or perhaps she merely feels sorry for Razmir, seeing in him a man with the proud audacity to reach for the heavens but lacking the courage to risk the final step. Because if you touch that stone, you're gonna fry. Obviously, I love the flavor of this archetype. And mechanically, it is useful. I like it. I'm glad it exists, and I'm glad it's an option. Thank you for spending your time with me. And if you are a patron, thank you for spending your time with me every day and your money with me every month. Seriously, it is important to helping, these videos come out and keeping those fat blobs of fur happy. I love them, though. They're not fat. They're just really fluffy. See? There's fluff everywhere. God. If you want to meet like-minded nerds, or nerds that are even weirder than you are, come to our Discord. It's in the description. We have a build-to-build contest every week. It has been on hiatus, but it's resuming this week. Or, depending on when you've watched this, it's resuming the 18th. Additionally, if you want to become a patron, you can go to the Patreon link in the description. If you're a patron of at least $5 or more, you get entered into a drawing every month at the first of the month. If you were a patron the previous month, for any part of the month, you could be the winner of a set of dice like this one. This is just ice snowball dice. It's like perfect for winter. And it's 9 pieces of a normal set, plus a 45mm D20. And we do giveaways like this every month, and if you're a patron of the highest level, then you get dice automatically every month, and you also can get stuff made by me if you want. We also have a store on Etsy selling dice. They're cool. I think so. If you want to see the rest of Divine Mysteries, here. If you want to see War of Immortals, here. Okay, thanks, bye-bye.